The early 2010s. Call of Duty was still well beloved, unlike what slop Activision is releasing nowadays. Battlefield was actually fucking awesome. So, while I was scripting this video, Battlefield 6 has just released, and I don't really have a PC that's powerful enough to run it. So I have no idea if the game is even good, nor do I really care about the Battlefield series anyways. Just let me have my joke, okay? The Elder Scrolls Skyrim was making its waves and not being released for the Nokia fridge. Pre-order now and get the Nokia phone as an in-game skin. For what? I don't fucking know. That's for you to figure out and give us your money. And Younger Sky was stuck on the PlayStation 3 version of Payday 2. Now, if some of you aren't as old as I am, you might not understand why that's a problem. So here's all of the DLCs that Payday 2 accumulated throughout the years. Now here's what the PS3 got. I'm not fucking with you. That's all of the DLCs the PS3 port got. The last major content update was the Infamy update, and that was all the way back in 2014. In that same year, these DLCs were added to the PC version. Now I know the PlayStation 3 isn't a super powerful machine, but as a kid, you don't really understand any of that. So I wanted to find something that could fill that Payday itch. Something that was familiar but fresh and new. So I went to the PlayStation Store, which, on a side note, this is what the PS Store looked like back on the PlayStation 3. God, I feel so old. I remember typing Payday 2 into the search bar, hoping that it would, recommend games that might be similar to Payday 2. And that's when I found it, Payday the Heist. And my first reaction to it was, there's a first game? Yeah, I was a really, really stupid kid. I honestly thought they named Payday 2 because it sounded catchier.
You see, I need my payday, too.
I remember being really excited when the game was booting up, with the four main characters walking towards the TV screen with their guns out. It was so fucking badass. The main menu music felt like it was pumping me up to hit that one big score, and when I went to play it didn't really captivate me like Payday 2. Now, don't get me wrong, I did have fun, but just something really felt off about the experience. Once I played for a couple of hours, I just dropped it and never touched it again. That was until I released my first ever Payday 2 video. Was when I kinda decided to just play it for, funsies one day. And, well, this time it clicked for some odd reason. I don't know why it finally did, but I found myself having more fun and appreciating it a whole lot more than when I was younger. So, join me as I talk about this frustratingly old gem of a game. Payday the Heist's leveling system is a bit different from Payday 2's. Instead of getting XP for completing heists, you get a thing called cash. Wow, who would have thought? Which is Payday the Heist's form of XP. But you don't only get cash for completing heists, but also from completing objectives in heist. So even if you fail, you still get some progress, which is really nice. There is some loose cash in some levels, but that's considered extra and doesn't really give much XP in the long run. However, there is a third major way to get cash, and that's from challenges. Now, challenges are there to help players level faster, getting kills slash headshots with a certain weapon, killing certain enemies slash specials, completing heists without going down, etc. Some are repeatable and some aren't. However, if you go guns blazing and accidentally kill a civilian during a heist, you will be penalized with reduced XP, depending on how many you've killed, which I really think that's how Payday 2 should have done it. Don't worry, I'll get to civilian AI pretty soon. So what is the player exactly leveling? There are 3 different upgrade trees: Assault, Sharpshooter, and Support. Technician is the 4th tree that came with the Wolf DLC. Assault focuses on ammo bags and extra cable ties. Sharpshooter focuses on trip mines and having more HP. Support focuses on doctor bags and extra ammo, and Technician focuses on sentries and speeding up interaction times. You can only upgrade one of these trees at a time though, so it is quite a bit of a grind. Hey, so one more thing that I forgot to mention about leveling is if you get a level up mid-heist, your health and all of your ammo gets completely refilled. However, if you're playing on overkill or above, that doesn't happen. I don't know how I forgot this in the script, so assault waves operate pretty similarly, but with some minor changes. Payday the Heist assault waves tend to have a longer grace period between them than Payday 2, giving players more time to complete objectives, which is really nice. Cops actually retreat a whole lot faster at the end of assault waves, though you will still deal with stragglers. Alright guys, I actually have to make a correction here for this upcoming part, because you see, originally when I wrote the script, I thought killing civvies would actually make the next wave happen a lot sooner. That's actually not true. You see, when I was testing, the break times were very inconsistent and weird and random to me, which made me believe it didn't have an effect there at all. However, I think killing civvies does increase the chances, or at least the probability, of a more deadlier special unit to spawn in the heist. I would put the footage up, but I kinda deleted that footage without thinking, cause I don't know. I'm not used to big projects, so hopefully this is the only, like, mistake I've made so far. The nicer thing is, you only need 1 hostage to get the full delay time on assault waves, which is 30 seconds. Now, I'm not so certain if Payday 2 does that, so I'm sorry if I messed this up. And SWAT officers during an assault can't free hostages. It's only in between waves that hostages can actually be freed by the cops. However, the only way a player can force a cop to surrender in this game is also in between assault waves as well. This is obviously in contrast to Payday 2, where you could just force a cop to surrender mid-assault wave, mainly because, well, you know, converts exist. Payday the Heist only has 5 difficulties, which determines not only the player's armor, invulnerability between shots, and the time it reduces per down. Easy difficulty is for those that just, I don't know, just want to play Payday 2 and Payday the Heist. Do keep in mind though that easy difficulty is only available on 2 heists, being First World Bank and Heat Street. Normal difficulty is where most people would probably start off, since it's a good way to get used to how Payday the Heist works. Hard difficulty is where most people will play after getting used to the game, since it provides a fair challenge, keeping the damage and amount of cops to a manageable degree. It's also the difficulty that I am somewhat used to playing, though I still suck at it. Overkill difficulty is like getting all your bones broken with a hammer behind a Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Don't ask. Cops do a good amount of damage. Most of the SWAT units are heavy variants, the player's armor is minuscule, and the increased special spawns really makes my blood pressure go through the roof. There is a 5th difficulty, which is hidden, and it only unlocks when you reach Reputation 145. It's just an even more punishing challenge than Overkill, and has unique scripted events that none of the other difficulties have. As you could probably have gained from me talking about the difficulties, and like I've said previously, I'm the most comfortable on hard difficulty, and it's totally not a skill issue on my part. Okay, it is. This is the most important aspect, right next to heist design, since the players have to enjoy fighting the enemies the developers have created. We got Jerome doing whiteface. If you know, you know. The standard Gen 6 security guards are only in 5 of the heists, and they happen to be the weakest enemies in the entire game. They're mostly to be an obstacle to catch unattentive players off guard. However, there is the ultra-rare SS-ranked red-shirted variants who use submachine guns rather than pistols, but they are only on 2 heists, that being Diamond Heist and, well, No Mercy.
Hurry!
They do have the same stats, though, as their white-shirted counterparts. Beat cops are here as well, sporting pistols or shotguns, and are only seen at the beginning of a heist. Unlike their Payday 2 counterparts, they don't do as much damage, but are supposed to harass the player and keep them busy until the SWAT units arrive to take over. The FBI units, or more known as the Hostage Rescue Team, or HRT for short, are sent in between waves and search out for any hostages that the heisters have taken. They are also great at harassing players by flanking them, since whenever you get shot, your screen does shake, and it makes it a lot harder to aim. However, they're only equipped with a pistol, and they do a minuscule amount of damage. On a side note, the silenced pistol variant with the balaclava is probably one of the coolest models in the entire game, and I am always right. Moving on to the actual SWAT units, we have both light and heavy SWATs. Light SWAT comes better equipped compared to the previous enemies. These guys are going to be the main attacking force that the player will be dealing with, and it can be pretty easy for a heister to be turned into Swiss cheese just from a couple of them. However, headshots can easily take them down in 1 or 2 shots. Heavy SWAT are a stronger variant of the light, having way more HP than any of the non-special units. They also come with the iconic visor that is just so satisfying to shatter with a headshot. It does take quite a bit more shots to the body to kill them, so the player is actually more incentivized to go for headshots. And while they do go down quite quickly to headshots, they actually have a lower headshot multiplier compared to the other non-special units, which does actually make a lot of sense. You know, I might actually be crazy for this, but I think the heavy variant replaces the light variant after some time into the heist. I don't know if it's after 2 or 3 assault waves, but it just feels like that happens. I'm probably going crazy. There are Murkies and Gangsters, but they only show up in 1 heist. Slaughterhouse for Murkies and, well, Panic Room for Gangsters. Undercover doesn't really count much since they're only at the beginning of the heist and they're clearly undercover FBI agents and not really gangsters. I will say, though, that the Murkies do look really cool in this game. All of the special enemies you know and love are here as well. The goofy-ass astronaut known as the Bulldozer is the guy your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. But don't let his looks deceive you. He kicks like a freight train, and he doesn't have his eyes on your girlfriend.
But you...
Tasers might as well just be sharpshooters at this point, because holy fuck, how are you tasing me from there? You know, I think the taser would really get along with this guy. Shields, who I lovingly nicknamed the AI Destroyer 3000, because like moths to a flame, the AI will constantly have a hate boner for these guys. Snipers, undercover.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
don't look too good.
And I left the worst for last. Cloakers. He's the type of guy to call people slurs online for fun. And turn out to be a closeted homosexual. Because, oh boy, does he love touching men. He gets really excited at the sight of a heister that he'll immediately run at them at Mach 10, cuffing them in the process. Did I also mention he can do that without any sort of cooldown either? Nor does he make any ambient sound, so he's completely silent, jump scaring the player. Yeah, it's not uncommon for a cloaker to single-handedly wipe out an entire group, especially if you're playing on solo. 3 out of 10 times, this fucker is the reason I lose heists. And it doesn't help that the AI... No, Sky. You're getting ahead of yourself. We'll get to talking about the team AI real soon. Now, I know you guys would absolutely love me going autistically in depth about each of the heists in the game with my objectively correct opinions, but I don't think you guys would find it that interesting. So, I thought it would be more enjoyable to pick which game did the heist better, Payday 2 or Payday the Heist. Payday the Heist wins this one. I think the color grading just makes First World Bank look more appealing to me. While it's nice that Payday 2 gives the player the option to stealth it, I don't really care that much. It just feels way nicer to play in the first game. My least favorite heist in the entire game. Payday 2 wins this one. I find it less of a pain in the ass compared to the first game, where civilians are a whole lot dumber and will constantly try to get up in the middle of a firefight. Oh, and it's definitely a skill issue on my part, but fuck is this heist rough with cop spawns and the cover somewhat lacking. Though I guess it isn't really that bad. I really like this heist. Honestly, I like this heist so much that I think both games do a good job. I never find myself not having fun when this heist does show up. The heist that I don't really play much. Frankly, I don't hate this heist, but I don't love it either. Payday the Heist wins this one, mainly because of the same thing as the First World Bank. The darker saturation just makes this heist look oddly appealing to me. Other than that, I don't really care for how it plays out in either game. My second favorite heist that came from this game, Payday the Heist, wins this one as well, since it feels way more unique than the second game. Even though I do like that you can stealth it all the way in Payday 2, I just find it way cooler that this was more of like a setup heist to lure in the Payday gang and finally take them out. Also, the red diamond is a lot rarer that I haven't even seen it in the first game yet. I don't know if it's an overkill only thing, but who knows. I prefer Payday the Heist version for only one reason. No bag moving simulator. Okay, that's not the only reason. It feels a lot better to play compared to Payday 2's version. I just have a lot more fun actually popping in and out of cover. It's almost like they have two completely different game philosophies. One is a cover-based shooter, and the other is Payday 2. I'm going to be a fence sitter again here because I like how it plays out in both of the games. I just do. Payday 2 wins this one because of, well, snipers. My favorite heist! Oh, I don't care if it's a collaboration with another game series. I do not care. This heist is really fun to me. I like zombie games. I like Left 4 Dead. So yeah, sue me. Both games get the win on this one. So, the final scores are, in this completely dumb and arbitrary little point system that doesn't mean shit, Payday the Heist with 7 points and Payday 2 with 5 points. And while Payday the Heist did win, it was mostly because of its looks, which does bring me to my next point. Now, why am I bringing up the game's graphics now in the video? Wouldn't it have been better to just talk about it at the beginning? Sure, it might have, but I honestly don't really have a lot to say about it since it's just more about personal tastes. I'm fine with how Payday the Heist and Payday 2 look, though I do find myself enjoying the more darker and grittier atmosphere of Payday the Heist compared to the bright, vibrant colors of its younger sibling. Also, the civilian models look so much better than Payday 2's. I don't get why, they're about as dumb in both games, but just look so much better in this game.
Alright, okay, party people!
Oh, and some of the masks look goofy as fuck. Now, if you remember back to when I was talking about the 4 upgrade trees, there was one thing that I forgot to mention. Each tree has 3 unique weapons that can be unlocked, and as you progress through leveling up the different trees, you actually can upgrade the weapons. And these aren't just weapon stat boosts by tiny percentages. Oh, no. They actually can unlock attachments that change the look of the gun. There are 2 weapons that don't necessarily follow this rule though, and they're the first guns you're given, the AMCAR and the B9S. It has upgrades that can be unlocked in the 3 basic upgrade trees, since the 4th one was a DLC. The AMCAR is a jack-of-all-trades gun, but a master of none. So, I guess me in the form of a gun. No, I'm shittier. B9S is a silenced pistol, and it's the weakest gun in the entire game. However, it barely has any recoil, and does have a lot of rounds per magazine, making it pretty easy to use / hit headshots. Still, a lot of people are probably going to use something else, though I think the B9S looks really cool. The crosskill is a lot better than the B9S, but has less rounds per magazine, and I personally don't use it as much as the other pistols. The Bronco 44 is the highest damaging pistol in the entire game, but if your aim is crappy, like mine, then you'll probably struggle to even use it properly. Also, make sure you don't fully unload the gun because the animation is really fucking slow. The Strike is a fully auto pistol that runs out of ammo way too fucking quickly, but I absolutely love this gun and its unholster animation. It's so fucking good, man! Oh, the AK is pretty solid. It's a step up from the AMCAR, but does have a lower reload speed. I've actually never seen an empty reload animation like this ever for an AK, so it's kind of cool. The Brenner 21 is something that I haven't really used much in this game before making this video, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. Although I do think it needs a faster fire rate. It just doesn't feel right for something like the Brenner. Maybe a 50 cal gun, but not the Brenner. Hey, at least this game had LMG true iron sights instead of the dumb zoom that Payday 2 has. The M308 is the best gun in the entire game. Does a good amount of damage, fast reload speeds, alright ammo pickup, and feels amazing to shoot. Most people will probably use this or the AK on harder difficulties. The Rhinebeck is surprisingly fun to use, though it is held back for being a shotgun. Most of the time this gun is very heist dependent, though it is pretty satisfying to get headshots with it. The Compact 5 has really low recoil and doesn't really do a lot of damage, but it has the HK slap and it's MP5, so it gets bonus points with me. Plus, its iron sights aren't that bad to deal with. The GL40 is one of the best choices, period. It's great for taking down shields and preventing the AI from being stupid. Well, then not by much. The ammo pickup is also pretty good. I've never really found myself running super low on ammo. Locomotive 12 gauge is something that I forgot even existed. It's not really that good, and it has one of the worst ammo pickups in the entire game. Maybe I'm biased against this gun, but it just doesn't feel that great to use. Though I guess it does look kind of cool. Mark 10 is a gun that I'm pretty surprised about because I actually use this gun the most. It has more ammunition and its hipfire isn't too bad. Sure, it has a bit more recoil than the Compact 5, but I still think it is pretty good. Of course, I think most of the guns are quite fun and enjoyable to use, though I just find myself using only a select few. I tend to use the AK, the Strike, GL40, M308, and Mark 10 quite a bit. Keep in mind that I haven't gotten all the upgrades for every weapon, so my opinion on the others might change over time. Hell, my opinion about the Brenner and the Rhinebeck has completely changed because of this video. Now, Payday the Heist isn't a perfect game, and there are some issues. Sometimes the cops are able to shoot you through certain objects at certain angles. The garage doors on Slaughterhouse are a perfect example of this. This also ties to objects as well. Even though it looks like you're behind cover, you end up being shot through it somehow. I've also experienced quite a bit of stutters and frame drops, but I don't know whether if it's just due to it being an old game moment, or if my PC is just wanting to be a shitter and fucking with me. Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. I did notice that turning on VSync helped a decent amount, so if you're experiencing similar issues, then maybe try that out. In the long run though, these aren't really super annoying issues, and it pales in comparison to the absolute worst fucking thing in this entire game. The AI. I thought I found the worst AI, that being the Left 4 Dead 2 bots, because those guys are absolute lobotomites. But oh, was I in a rude awakening when I found these fucking retards. I can't tell you how much I loathe these useless fucks. Their reaction times very greatly. At times, they'll kill an enemy in a millisecond that I haven't even noticed yet. Or, which this is what happens most of the time, they'll just sit there and do nothing as the cops push right past them for longer than they should be allowed. The pathfinding is somehow worse. The game doesn't update the player's position as often as it should, so you'll see the AI just climbing / moving towards where you used to be a couple seconds ago. Oh, and have I mentioned that they are slow as hell? It's really easy to run ahead and forget that the AI is miles away from you. And God forbid that if you run into a cloaker or a taser, you might as well just restart the heist then and there. At least you still get XP even if you fail, but when this shit happens, it makes me just want to stop playing altogether. Though, to be fair, that's more of a skill issue on my part and not being patient. Oh, and if a shield ever enters the map, and trust me, it will, the AI gets hard to kill him. They call them shields for a reason, and the AI don't really understand that part. They'll just keep shooting the shield that blocks all their bullets, leading to them getting melted by other cops in the surrounding area, because they'll never stop shooting at the fucking shield.
Please fucking stop.
The only way to prevent this from even happening in the first place is by either exposing yourself, where all the cops will pull their focus onto you, so you'll end up taking a shitload of damage, or you could be smart and bring the GL40 on every single heist. Now, it's not impossible or an instant fail if shields do show up, since I have plenty of times where I kill them with no incident. But that's mainly because I have to hard focus on them whenever they spawn in before the AI can even notice. No wonder Overkill went with making them tankier in the second game and called it a day. Hell, most of the time I lose a heist because the bots did one of the above and all went down or I got cloaked. Though, in all fairness, I'm probably worse at this game than I am at Payday 2. There's a lot of things that I could have done better in most of my failed attempts. I don't even know what the fuck I was thinking on this Heat Street attempt. At the time, I was just done with Heat Street, and I wanted to restart. In all the clips that ended in failure from cloakers, I should have been a lot more cautious instead of just running right into them. Oh, and most of those fails were on hard difficulty. Overkill is something that I'm not even prepared for. Trust me, I've tried it way before making this video, and I lost every single heist in quick succession. Except for Diamond Heist, but that's because I got really good RNG. Which led me to realize that Overkill always kinda sucked at balancing difficulties and weapons. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think trying to beat all the heists on Overkill or Overkill 145 Plus is impossible. Nor would it be that bad of a learning process since it's not DSOD. Anything is better than DSOD. I've just noticed that there isn't much variety in loadouts that people bring, at least from the solo videos I've seen. It's either the same three combinations of Bronco, M308, and GL40, though some people might switch out the GL40 for the Compact 5 or Mark 10. It's probably a lot better in co-op, but I definitely don't like it when games feel like they're shoehorning you into playing with others. But honestly, most of these are just nitpicks for me, except the AI. Ooh, I genuinely hate them. Well, there you guys have it. I finally made a video on Payday the Heist, so that's one video idea already off my list. I know there's some things that I didn't really cover, like AI blocking your shots if they stand in front of you. Dallas looking completely different. Why does he look like this? Cloaker's SMGs absolutely melting the bots in seconds. The civilian AI just being downright garbage. It's worse than Payday 2. But despite all these flaws, I do think Payday the Heist is a very good game. And if you're a fan of Payday, and you've only played Payday 2, I would definitely recommend playing Payday the Heist. It definitely has things to offer, and hell, you might actually enjoy its gameplay loop a lot more than Payday 2. Me personally, I enjoy both games. I think both games are very fun, however, I do find myself more leaning towards Payday the Heist cover-based shooting, rather than Payday 2's flood you with cops till you die. I kind of hated what they did with that. Maybe that's why I like ResMod so much. However, this entire video isn't to determine which game is better, so please keep that in mind. I could go on, but this video is probably long enough already, and I covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about. So how'd you guys like it? Was it good? I hope so. because this video took me way too long to make, and I know you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but I feel like I need to. I'm sorry that it took me so damn long. Definitely not used to this large workload, though I did have fun making this. I did try to vary the gameplay up as much as possible, so I hope it wasn't too repetitive, but maybe that's just me since I've been seeing a lot of the same footage for the past like 2 to 3 weeks, so. I do have a plan to make the workflow a lot more engaging for me and to make it easier so I can work a whole lot longer so I can get videos like this one out quicker. I was going to initially do a mod section, but when I went to a mod workshop, the framework mods download link just doesn't work anymore at all. So yeah, if it gets fixed in the future, then I wouldn't mind doing a standalone video about mods. So, something else that I was thinking about when making this video was assault waves. I did a bit of testing to see if I was actually correct in my assumptions, and it was kind of fun testing around with it. So if you guys want to maybe see a more dedicated video on it where I go into a bit more detail, maybe not code levels of detail since me stupid, or if you would like to see a more in-depth comparison of the heists in both games, then let me know in the comments. Anyways, I'm going to stop yapping since this video is probably long enough. Do all the YouTube things if you liked it, since that really does help me out a lot, and I would appreciate it. And I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever and whatever you're doing, and I cannot wait to see you next time with a ResMod episode, because I have been fiending for fucking ResMod. I want to play it.